So, what do you want to happen now?
I want to be home. I want to have my little girl in a home again. I want to feel safe in my own home.
Hi guys, this is Don Phillips and welcome to Supernatural Files. We're all accustomed with the regularity of evidence gathered during hauntings. Some people claim to be evidence as orbs, people hear footsteps, people see apparitions. These are stories and usually not very evidential, as sad as that might be. So what if you go to a home with a young mother who has fled that home in fear of what she's seen, what she's heard, what she's witnessed, and she has a young child? What if you capture what you believe to be a handprint on a bed, and then I come along to do an analysis on the photograph, and I genuinely believe it to be an actual photograph of a spirit's hand? All that and more coming up on the Supernatural Files.
Okay, Ashley. How long have you lived here?
Just over 2 years.
And have you had any experiences before?
In previous houses.
So, how old were you when this started?
Child. About 5 or 6.
So, was this a bit of a shock for you?
Yeah.
This is different. What was the first thing that you experienced?
Things was being moved. Things would go missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that it was just lights being on, bangs. Babies' toys would go off when they're off. Just different things, like weird things you couldn't explain.
So, the first time it happened, did you just think that was normal?
I kind of questioned myself, like, have I done it? Did I move it? Where have I put it, kind of thing.
And then, when did you realise?
When you see things move.
Physically move?
Yeah.
Wow, like what?
My phone went from one sofa to another.
Wow. And you sat there and watched it go? Right, okay. What was the most worrying thing for you?
Being pinned to the bed.
Do you want to tell me about that?
I woke up in early hours in the morning, couldn't physically move, and there was like a black, the first time I seen it, it was a black mist at the side of my bed. And then once it went, I could move again. And then recently when I seen it, I couldn't move my legs. So I thought my dog was sat on my legs. So I've got up to move my dog, and there was a black figure stood at the bottom of my bed. That freaked me out.
Had you seen him before?
Not like that. I've seen a few figures in the house. There's been a black shadow, what I thought was a man, stood in the archway of my living room. Other than that, I've not seen anything.
What were you doing at the time?
I was just washing the pots, just pottering around the kitchen.
So, this is happening not at specific times?
Different times, yeah.
It's not the evening?
No, sometimes it's in the day. I always get woke up between 3 and 4. In the morning, it's always between 3 and 4. When my little girl had the front bedroom, it was always 4 o'clock she'd wake up, just screaming, and then I'd have to go and get her.
And you didn't know what?
No.
Right, okay. So, do you want to tell me about the people that lived here before?
Mm-hmm.
Had they had any experiences?
I'd spoken to my neighbour to find out, just make sure I wasn't going crazy, to see if the neighbours knew of anything. The people who lived there said they had the same things, lights being on and off, doors banging from upstairs. Things would go missing and then turn up. All the stuff out of a wardrobe got tipped out.
What do you mean?
She was dead downstairs in the kitchen. She heard an almighty bang from upstairs. As she's gone, everything from her wardrobe was out, thrown out of her wardrobe.
Do you think they left because?
I don't know why they left.
Did they tell you about this before you moved in?
No one told me.
So how did you find out about this?
When I spoke to my next door neighbour.
Have the next door neighbours had any experiences? No. So what point did it get so unbearable that you had to do something?
Last week, it was early hours Tuesday morning when I woke up with my legs being pinned. When I seen the figure at the bottom of my bed. I got up in the morning to make my bed and there was a handprint on the bottom of my bed. It was like a big dusty handprint. It wasn't bigger than my handprint, but I couldn't explain it.
Then what happened?
I noticed a few marks on Leia that I couldn't really describe or say how she got them because she was with me all morning. There was a scratch on her hand and a mark on her forehead, a perfect circle, which was like it was like a bump, but perfect red circle. When I asked her how she'd done it, she couldn't tell me. Later, when we asked her how she did it, she said the boy did it. I was like, what boy? But then she wouldn't answer me again, wouldn't say anything about it. And then at that point I had to leave and I didn't want to have baby in the house again with it affecting her. So I've been at my mum's ever since.
What do you want to happen now?
I want to be home again. I want my little girl back in her home. I want to feel safe. I want it to be mine.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Earlier on, I spoke to Ashley and she explained what's been going on here and where she's up to. What exactly happens now with you and Don Phillips?
Yeah. Well, really, it's an interesting point because what we actually do is when we come in, we've got to initially assess what's actually going on. We've not actually started the investigation yet, but we've got to go in and we've got to kind of a generalised assessment because we've got to work out what type of equipment, if necessary, and other items that we might use tonight. And of course, as things will unfold, it will kind of guide us as to what sort of experiments are going to be required during the evening.
So is it the same pattern that you do every time?
Actually, no. It's actually everything. It's so different every time. We just, we might go into a certain location and we are going to have to require certain pieces of equipment. But from what we've actually been told from Ashley already, is that there's already been a lot of interesting things that she's experienced, be it shadows, be it we've had a strange handprint that's been seen on the bed. Actually on the bed. What's good about that is that particular photograph, which is absolutely fascinating. We've actually done a lot of analysis on this already. Okay. So we're going to be revealing a little bit more information about that in the near future. But and also the shadowy figure was seen to have crossed arms, tall figure. So we're going to be going to those focal locations in the home to find out if there's anything significantly going on in that particular room where this actually happened. She's obviously very scared and she ran off and left home. So absolutely sincere. That's what the most important thing is that it was actually her family that initially contacted us because she was a little bit, well, should I really talk to somebody about this? And it was a family who were very concerned. She got a little girl and she's very concerned about her safety. And of course, this is why we're here, because we had the call literally a few days ago, and we're here. And Don Phillips is, as you know, he's travelled a long way to come with us tonight because it's a priority case. There's children involved, and of course, the health and safety obviously comes first.
Do you think that people leave it too long before they get in touch?
That's actually a very good point. A lot of people do actually leave it too long. But then at the same time, is there really a too long? Because a lot of people, I'll tell you what they're actually doing. The self-assessment. It's a self-assessment process. You kind of think, I've just experienced something unusual. Is it going to happen again? We have a kind of say, well, once, a fluke. 2, a very strong coincidence. 3, there's something going on. Now, of course, they go through this process. That can take a bit of time. But then after a while, they kind of think, well, okay, I'm going to need to get in touch with somebody. I'm going to have to tell somebody externally from the incident. What happens basically is people will take a considerable length of time to question their own sanity.
After fleeing her home, Ashley had returned upon our arrival. He had now heard from Ashley, and it was time for us to take a look around. It wasn't long before something commanded our attention. A crucifix had hit the floor. We'd heard it, but had it merely slipped, or did it have some help by unseen hands?
It's down here.
A second crucifix, made of brass and also owned by Ashley, was found to be twisted and contorted.
It was laid up just on the side of this bolt here. If it had slid off, it would have just fallen down in this area. But actually, if you worked out, it would have had to pass over this unit to get here. And the central of this unit on the floor, there's absolutely no way it could have got from there to there without actually being some force applied to it.
We all heard that, didn't we, Steve?
We all heard it. We all heard it fall.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
We're all standing at the door, and then it just, there was a ping, and it fell on the floor.
This was...
Do
you know
exactly
where this was?
Yeah.
Because what I'm going to do, I want to test it now as well. So if you put it where it was, right, I'm going to knock it with my finger from the bottom, because it would have slipped out, wouldn't it, from the bottom if it was going to fall, because that's the other thing I find interesting. If it's to fall out from the bottom, unless it fell halfway over here, I can see that happening, but it would have to come out from the bottom. So let's just say it slipped. It's quite a heavy cross.
Yeah.
It is quite a heavy cross.
Okay, so let's try that again and say if it slipped, obviously it would slip from the bottom, so we'll just flick it with the finger. If I flick it...
That's the ding.
Yeah, there was a ding. Let's do it hard.
It was over here.
It was over there. And that was a lot more than a slip. That was me.
We heard the ding, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If it was the case that it had simply slipped, it should have still have landed upon the surface. This raised the question, how could it have fallen, cleared the surface area, and landed 5 feet from the cupboard upon the carpet? Or rather unscientific replication, at the very least, suggested an additional, much stronger force would have been necessary. Okay, so this mysteriously came off of the unit, navigated over here and ended up about 5 feet away. Quite coincidental when we're talking about crosses. I mean, earlier I showed you the other one that we've got, the twisted one. Again, it's a crucifix. So let's try this one then. So, was anybody responsible for this? My first questions to the spirits were answered, who was responsible, when this voice came back, who actually confirmed when he said, I did it.
Stephanie.
Right, what I'll say is, obviously that is a response. I mean, what's your job, Helen?
Sound engineer.
You're a sound engineer.
Yeah.
Digital recorder, obviously very familiar with these.
Yeah.
You press record, there's nothing there. What would you expect?
Just hiss.
Just hush,
Nothing.
just total hush.
Yeah. Or
So,
hiss.
in your opinion, as a professional, because obviously you've worked on TV and on some big shows, does that sound like a vocal response? We can't understand exactly what it said at the moment. Does that sound like a response to you? Would I take a listen?
Yeah, it definitely does. There should be nothing there. So how do you feel?
It's been a pretty interesting night. I mean, we've had, it's not been full on. We've had quite a lot of very strange things. You know, we've had the cross that obviously left and ended up in on the floor, 5 feet away from its starting place. I had some pretty good vocal responses. I mean, we just took one literally 5 minutes ago, which is, well, it's quite incredible,
Odd.
isn't it? What do you,
It was odd.
what do you think of that?
Well, I didn't expect that. It was very odd.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear it so clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's very
ridiculously clear, isn't it? So it's something for us to work on. I'm going to play that in a minute, but yeah, I think it's been a really interesting night. There's certainly something here.
Yeah.
and things going on.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's coming in waves.
it's
as
coming
well.
in waves.
Yeah.
It's coming in waves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to do a little bit of waiting for the next
Yeah.
wave
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It is a long process, but yeah.
Why we're here? I mean, it's the first time you've actually met me and Steve.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah,
so,
it's
I
a
mean,
weird way to meet anybody, really. Yeah, but it was good. It was very exciting.
Did you find it interesting?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I expected, to be quite
No.
honest. I expected you to be in the dark, wandering around with a torch or something and shouting at somebody, but it didn't work out like that.
No, we
No.
are very relaxed in the way
Yeah.
way that we work on,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you, your
What?
first introduction to Becky. What do you think?
I was quite surprised. I mean, the weirdest thing is that she just confirmed things, which is good, that was quite clear. But also, you did lose your lens tonight, and
That was bizarre.
Yeah, we did find it in the bag.
Well, we checked this bag about 10 times.
Yeah, we did. We all checked the bags. Yeah,
And I just
and that was odd.
put the recorder on
And she says it's in the bag.
in the bag, and I opened it, and it was in the bag.
It's in the bag.
And
we hunted everywhere for that
so
lens.
put it there or something. Said,
Yeah,
so,
something put it there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's. I think it's been a cracking night, to be honest with you. When we look at everything that we've got a few things to analyse. We're going to look more at the handprint and everything.
So you are going to continue this? And
Oh
go
yeah,
on?
because we came from. We've got the name Michael. Potentially something about the attic. Obviously, the client said she's never been in the attic since she's been here.
Yeah, that was odd that she texts now.
That was pretty weird. I know we're all very, very tired now. I mean, it's about 6 o'clock
Yeah,
in the morning.
6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
So I'm just going to play that audio that we've just taken,
Okay.
which is pretty much shocked
Yeah.
you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it shocked me a bit. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that clear. And a Cockney accent, a man.
It certainly.
Where's that come from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. So that's something to follow up tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we'll play that now.
Yeah.
You're not going to be with us
No,
tomorrow.
I'm not. No, so good luck.
So
I'll be thinking of you when I'm asleep. I will be asleep.
Having nightmares.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's been great to meet you,
Okay,
Helen.
nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Then there was the handprint that Ashley described as being left by a black figure that she saw at the end of the bed. Okay, obvious question. You saw a black figure in a black bedroom. How did you see the figure?
It's twilight.
Did you have your curtains open?
No, the curtains are shut.
Okay, so it was darker then.
Yeah. You
Then
can see, in the dark in here, you can see everything in the
you
room.
could see
still.
very, very, very lightly lit. Okay. So what happened next?
The dog was up at the head of my bed. I just covered my head, said my prayers, and just went back to sleep. It was in the morning when I come to make my bed
Right, that explains that.
that the handprint was on my bed.
I need to tell you something about your handprint. You know, so I need to discuss that with you. When we say handprint, what is a handprint? You tell me what you'd expect from a handprint. The hand was on the bed like this, wasn't it? Okay, I've done some analysis on that.
I did wonder if it was me who put my handprint there because I was getting ready, but the other one was a lot bigger.
But the question, the obvious thing is, actually, obviously, if that was your handprint, how would you get the top of your hand imprinted on the bed as opposed to the palm of your hand?
You couldn't get the top of your hand.
First of all, a handprint would be a palm of a hand. That's not the palm of a hand, Ashley. That's the top of a hand.
Okay.
It's a three-dimensional top of the hand. So obviously you can't get a handprint. If it's on your bed like this, on your bed, which it was, okay, that can't be a handprint because you took a picture above and it's a three-dimensional top of the hand. Are you with me?
So it's the top of the hand.
It could actually. You wanted me to be totally honest
Yeah.
and open with you. Now, you can't see. Now, what you said is you described it, that it was covered in dust.
It was like a dusty hand.
Okay, and again, I'm being perfectly honest with you. To me, it looks like you may have not seen the hand because of it being an invisible hand, but you may have seen the dust on the hand, which was actually highlighting the shape of the hand. Now, I've done a comparison with that. I put my hand and scaled it to exactly the same size as that hand, at the same angle like this. I took a photo with my phone, as you would have done on yours, at roughly the same angle. You would see, you know, on the photo that you sent me, there's dark areas on the image.
Yeah.
they match exactly the shadows on my hand. Literally, exactly. The other thing is as well, it would be virtually impossible to fake that. I'm not suggesting you're doing that, but I have to explore lots of possibilities.
Well, yeah.
You know, to actually get the top of a hand, that's pretty impossible from what I can see. I don't know how that would be done. And I've had to look at it, obviously, because that's what you asked me to do, investigate, you know. If you was going to cover your hand in something and put it on the bed, on the top, you know, to get a print, first of all, the hand's going to be the other way around. Second of all, when you actually turn it over, there won't be any shadowing from the light, because obviously there isn't any, because... What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I've actually done, okay, and tell me what you think of that.
Okay.
That's the handprint you gave me, which I've lightened slightly. You can see that shape there. Yeah? I put my hand exactly the same.
Yeah.
Scaled it. If you look at the dark shadowing on the, well, probably easier on the top one, where the shadows are. In fact, let me just see if I can. You see where the shadows are on the fingers there. Look, which is exactly the same as mine. You see these two veins in my hand there. They match up exactly to there, which is everybody's got. So yeah, it is a hand print, but it's not the bottom of the hand, it's the top.
So how was that left on my bed?
Well, like I was saying, was it a print or was it actually a hand at the time? So what do you feel about that? You thought it was just a hand print, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's not. The fingers, it's like a bent like that, that shape like that, and obviously you can see what I'm talking about. The shadows, exactly the same as where the shadow is on my hand.
It didn't move.
No. I can't say for sure that was actually a physical hand. You couldn't see, but you could see because it was covered in dust. But what I can say is that is undoubtedly a hand. The question is, how do you get the top of a hand as a handprint? You with me?
Yeah.
Very difficult to do that, wouldn't it? Armed with this new information, Ashley again decided to look at the handprint in question and the way that it was captured.
You couldn't get the top of your hand.
How does that make you feel?
Weird.
Weird. Okay, so a little bit of a revelation, obviously to Ashley about what she described as a handprint. So Ashley, now you've seen that and what I've actually done with it, what do you think of that? How does it make you feel?
It's freaked me out even more.
Freaked you out a little more. Yeah. But I did give you the option that whether you want me to sit honest and give you a full disclosure, or just so you know that's what you wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was literally there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold that for me a sec. So when you took the picture, it was kind of there, like that, was it?
Yeah.
But you can see, can't you, how that matches up to what I've actually done?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we're still looking for some, we're still searching for answers here. We think, or at least I think at the moment, that whether it's this family or a previous family, it's that way orientated. We took a very loud and very clear reply, didn't we?
Yeah.
Earlier from a gentleman that said, we will play that actually, but it was straight up the stairs and the grandkids. But the thing to remember, like I explained before, I took a lot of recordings. I spent considerable time here yesterday. Been here for a couple of 3 hours now, but we've not actually done anything significant. But there's been nothing negative spoken.
Yeah.
It's just been normal response to normal question or normal statements. I mean, obviously for you and other people like you out there, which are really, really frightened, it's the unknown. You know, it's never been oppressive or anything like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try. The energy's still very low at the moment, but we're going to try to see if we can get an answer. So I don't know if it's going to be possible, but we're going to try and address that gentleman now with some questions, but that's what I plan to do tonight before I leave, if possible. Okay, I think let's just step round here. Now, as always, the response is dependent on the energy. It's not particularly high at the moment, but there is a little bit, so hopefully we can get something
Right, Ashley, I'm not going to ask this question. I want you to ask this question.
Okay.
So what would you, if this person can hear you now, what would you like to ask them?
What's your name?
Their name?
Yeah.
What's their first name?
The first name, yeah.
Okay. So let's just try that now. You ask the question now, say, can you please tell me what your first name is, and I'll hit record, okay?
Okay. Can you please tell me what your first name is?
I'd like to ask a question. Are you in any way, shape or form, past or present, got any connection to Ashley's family? Are you a family member? Is that a fair question?
Yeah.
If you are, can you just say the word family, or can you just say yes? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that one now, because that could be quite important, couldn't it? I know what I'm hearing from
Yeah,
that,
I heard it.
but I want it to be clearer. What are you hearing? I'm not going to say anything.
I heard family.
We need a clearer one. But certainly, it does look
Yeah.
kind of that way at the moment. So, energy's not good. We're just going to try on the stairs, then we're going to go downstairs. We're going to get one of your wonderful coffees, and then we'll resume this in a little while.
Okay.
Obviously very concerning for the whole family this has been. So, you know, these are difficult cases because it's people's thoughts, people's emotions and it's people's lives. Obviously just spoken to Ashley's mother there, reassured her best we can, shown her the handprint, explained that in more detail. We put a more realistic slant on things, so maybe how she was interpreting things before. Steve, what do you think? A few words. I mean, she's obviously been a little bit better now, hasn't she?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've not, as you know, we've not come in here and really sensed anything which is negative. There seems to be a lot of intent to be recognised.
Attention.
Yeah, certainly attention. And a lot of it focused around the 3-year-old little girl. But of course, she's at that prime age where, you know, a lot of children do witness those sort of things. And the interaction's quite high when it comes around to those little ones.
I'm still pretty convinced it is family orientated, whether it's this family or a previous family that was here before. There's no doubt what was actually being said on that recording that
Absolutely
that
not.
we played for the mother. Everybody
no
heard
doubt.
it clearly. It is an actual voice for an AVP. What I'm going to do now, I really want to go home. You know, this is the second night now. I'm like 120 odd miles away. Been up for hours again, haven't we?
Yeah.
Was here till 7 o'clock this morning. Now we're back again. I'm trying to find something compelling for them, whether it's Becky that answers or anybody else saying that everything's going to be okay, or just still answer questions. I'm looking for these pockets of energy. I can only work when we've got the energy. It's not a constant here. It comes and goes, and it's just trying to. It's not particularly strong at the moment, so I mean, I don't normally just shoot in the dark kind of thing.
No. There's no
But
point.
I'm just in the hope and considering the time that we can actually get something. So we're just going to do that now for a few minutes and see if we can get any pretty clear responses in respect to who's here. If they want to come with me, I mean, obviously that's always an option and something I always offer. Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, you know what, Steve? People need to understand as well that when you're doing something like this, it's not a game, it's not fun, it's not about gathering evidence. I mean, we have to do that's part of what we do. It's affecting people's emotions.
It is, yeah, and it's
It really
surprising.
does.
It's surprising how people are taught to fear this phenomenon.
Well,
So much that
sometimes
it's
it
like a
might be
feeling of
justified
dread
to an
for them.
extent, but it's right. Let's just see how we get on. Okay, there was a gentleman that says up the stairs, grandkids. If you can hear me now, can you just give me your first name, or just, you know, why are you here? Are you looking for something? That's too many questions. Let's start. Can we get a first name? Okay, whoever resides in this house, we'll just take this little thing then, Steve, might get a reply on this. You're obviously welcome to all join me. It's not a problem at all. You'll be more than welcome in my place with the other guys.
You could actually go with Dom.
Yeah, not a problem. You can do what you want, be who you want. It's not a problem. And obviously get the respect that and acknowledgement you guys deserve. So the question I'm going to repeat is, do you want to come with me when I leave here to my house, where you're quite welcome to stay permanently? Right, we're leaving in about 10 minutes. I'm going to head back to Leicester. Here's my new friend Ashley. Are you feeling a little bit better?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, good. I've told you a lot of things tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, and I sort of need to gauge your level of how you perceive things now, kind of, and everything else. So I want you to do me a favour, because you trust me, don't you? Yeah, I know you're not going to be happy, but I want you to do me a favour and just trust me, because this is the important part.
Okay.
Okay. All I want you to do, I'm going to be up here. All right. I might pop downstairs just for 2 minutes, but it won't take any longer. Trust me.
No.
You'll feel better. Actually,
No.
it's the first step. It is the first step. This is not going on. So can we just try it? You can leave at any time. I'm not saying you've got to stay here. I'm just going to say, well, you just sit there and just relax for a minute. You can
In the
leave.
dark?
You can have the light on. Do you want the light on?
Yeah.
That's not a problem. We can do that. Because it's about taking control and empowering you. And it is the first step. Because, you know, if nothing's changed since I've been here, I might as well not come. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
I know you're not going to be happy about it, Ash.
Okay.
But you trust me. I know what I'm talking about. You've
Yeah.
established that much since I've
Yeah.
been here. Okay? So we're going to do that because it is important. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a video of the Devon case. And this lady was actually in pieces. I had to do the same thing. She said, "No, I'm not doing it." She started crying and everything. She did it. And you know what? Afterwards, she was so thankful. You will feel better. I want you to just adopt a whatever attitude. That's all. You understand that something's got to change
Yeah.
than before I came, so that's why this is important. And I told your mum I was going to do this. She won't be happy. I said, no, I won't. No, that was just a noise.
I know.
This is what I'm talking about. Retrain your brain. Not everything is going to be. So I'm going to do that. Do you want? You can be in here with this if you want.
No.
You don't.
The light on,
Okay.
though.
You can put the light on. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if I say to smell now, I know it'll be a fake one, but it's better than nothing. All right. So, and your mum would like to see you do this anyway, to be fair, wouldn't she? Just so she knows it. As a still very nervous Ashley spent time upstairs alone for the first time in some time, we were sent downstairs and spoke to the mother. She had a lot of questions about what was happening and was obviously worried about Ashley and the children. I only take on...
Strange that we got his number then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I only take on big cases. Now, you think, well, this is not a big case, but it is, because
It is,
the fact is the way it's affecting you.
Yeah. And we were alerted that the fact is that a child might have been involved.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, we've just put down
And
everything.
he's moving things in her room.
But again,
You know, she's just, and I've been here, like, I have the baby when Ashley's at work, and she'll say, "Oh, look, Granny, the lady," and I'll go, "Okay, coat on." Because I don't want to be around her.
No, I mean, children...
And then she has we had to take the trolley out backwards because of the steps, and she waved to the top of the stairs when we were going out. and
Now,
that's-
she'd have an aversion to waving if she thought it was something bad. Children are very instinctual, and at that age, what basically happens is children grow out of this phase. When they're young, there's this kind of veil between, as we get older, our perceptions change. But in children, they're very open. Their blinkers are a little bit wider of intuition. So they're having those experiences, but she'll be evading that sort of thing. She wouldn't even want to be there, want to look at this thing or interact. But if she's waving to this thing, then that's a different content. There's a different.
This is the first case I've decided to take, despite being asked all the time, in 9 months. Quite literally, because I've been so busy doing my own stuff, I do documentaries and things, but because it was Ashley, child, you guys, and everything else, that's why this was important.
What if it through that glass and it hit the baby?
Now, a whole different ballgame.
But it could happen because it's through it.
Yeah, but that's the only, it could have been. You see, this is the problem. When people have these experiences, they worry more about the ifs and the whats
Let me ask
as
you a
opposed to
question.
something actually happening.
Have you got house content insurance?
No, got a dog.
You haven't? Okay, so, you've got car insurance, haven't you?
Yeah.
Why have you got car insurance?
Just in case.
Yeah.
What if?
Yeah.
The what's
What
in.
if?
You
Which
know,
happened?
besides
Yeah,
you-
but that's a car, this is a baby.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is the same principle applies. We automatically worry about things, whether it's car insurance or anything. It's what if this happens? I mean, it's the most precious thing in the
I
world.
think what we've got to
She
do
is.
is you've got to flip this over and say to yourself, she's not been injured. There's nothing that's hit her. There's nothing that's flown across the room. If that intent was there, that would have happened. That would have been very prominent, and of course we would have known about that very quickly.
Instantly,
It
to be
doesn't
honest.
seem to be the case. What seems to be the case is that grabbing attention, focused around the children, of course. 'Cause, children, especially with children, that they can interact back because this child sees me. Fantastic.
Earlier, I played Ashley's little video that I've got online. I went back a year later after a case that I'd actually done. People I didn't know was there, like the guy that was filming and everything. This was a very, very, very bad case. I wanted to show her that because some kind of gauge comparison between a lot of people argue natural things an average or normal, and something that's you're worried about kind of level. This place, sorry. Hang on. Can't talk at the moment. Call you back in a few minutes. I'm with the client. Okay. Bye. Mother. In this place we went in and voices were not on recorders or anything, they were coming out of the air. I was standing there with this camera I'd never met before, and we were literally standing there, just there. I will kill you. And that's straight out of the air, and that's loud. Break his legs. Get out. And these are coming out of the air and
We
everybody's
know
hearing
when
it.
things are bad.
See, if that was the case here or anything like that level, I've got to go work Monday morning. I would have to make some excuse and not go because I would not be able to leave you in that situation.
But that's not the case.
Because believe it or not, your child is important to me in my context as it is, and Steve, as it is
Yeah.
to you.
Absolutely,
It's a
yeah.
young
We've
child.
got children, kids ourselves, so we understand.
Okay.
But everything that we're looking at a low severity, low frequency, possibly a localised interactive haunting.
But you said go on.
And at the same time, it seems to be interactive to the point of it's playful. It's putting toys on and doing things like that. It's capturing the attention of a child here, but not actually causing any harm. But it's interacting. When you mentioned briefly then about you're going to go for a bath,
Yeah.
and then all the toys ended up in the bath. Why would that happen? It's an interaction where that toy's in the bath.
It's to grab attention.
It's grabbing attention.
The investigation was heavy going, as previously explained, with the very freezing cold temperatures and the ground frost making communications very, very difficult. It was my belief that this was family orientated. There was quite a lot of phenomena that took place. The recordings, some were clearer than others, but there was at no time any risk, as far as I was concerned, to the family or the child. Unfortunately, before we could conclude on this investigation, Ashley decided to leave the house and find a new dwelling. So, after that second night, we headed back to Steve's, where I conferred with Becky exactly what the situation was. I had invited the spirits to actually return with me and take them away from Ashley's. It would appear that this was actually had been the case, which I was also able to establish a couple of days later when I got home and I spoke to the very same spirits that were originally occupying Ashley's. This is a confirmation from Becky.
We've not long been back at my own house, and we've just come back from Ashley's. Very interesting night and a lot of recordings. And as Don normally would do, he said, guys, you know, if you want to come back to my house, please do so. Sometimes that seems to work. And we were just in here chatting when Don got what he says is a buzz, and he put his recorder on, and as he was just about to press it, he said he thinks it's Becky. But then he paused and said, no, I don't think it is. Did a 10-second record, played back, very clear, you can hear it's Martin. Now that's interesting because the name Martin has been referenced a number of times during recordings at Ashley's home. So, under the assumption that some of them have actually come back here, he asked, you know, guys, how many are there? And he got the typical response back from Becky. We understand Becky's voice now, we clearly identify it. And she said, I think there is 10, which is very interesting because it's very, very clear. You've got to have a listen to it.
Oh yeah, we're shattered. Back here, it's now getting on between 3 o'clock in the morning. I head back to Leicester. Fantastic from Becky. This guy said he's Martin. I said to Martin, how many of you guys are actually coming back with me? Because I did invite them from Ashley to come back with me. And Becky popped in. I got this strength, and it was Becky, and it's pretty clear. I think there were 10. So once again, Becky, you know, icing on the cake and everything. I'm going to put this video together. We've got Ashley's permission to make a little video, put it on YouTube, which I know a lot of people are going to like. And stay tuned; it's going to be pretty good. But right now, I do need my bed.
You do need your bed.
I do need my bed.
I need my bed.
And you need your bed. So.
And we also need to tell the guys that this is not your home, and they will be going back with you.
Yeah, not staying here. We should, I think, there are 10. So what we're thinking, maybe a couple are just thinking about it. But totally shattered. Going now, guys. Catch you later. Of course, Ashley's not alone. Thousands and thousands of people every year experience paranormal phenomena taking place in their homes, and particularly when they have young children, it's even more frightening. Some people, admittedly, there will be overactive imaginations. This was not the case here. You heard a spirit say, I did it, when the cross hit the floor and I asked the question. The night was pretty tough going. There was a ground frost. It was below freezing temperatures. These variables affect communications very, very badly. In fact, now I'm heading into the worst part and time of the year concerning my interactions with my spirit friends. Fortunately, at the moment here in the USA, we have some pretty freaky weather. It was 78, 82 degrees yesterday in mid-October, which is probably not good on an environmental front, but certainly it does help with communications. As you heard in the video there, I invited the spirits to come and reside with me. Now, this is something that I've been doing for many, many years, and I can assure you I'm probably the most haunted person on the planet, which is not a problem. Because of that, I've learned to understand them, gained a lot of knowledge, and they are all part of my work and what I do, and for that I will be eternally grateful. Becky said there was 10. I think there are 10. Now you may ask the question, when spirit people come to reside with me, come to stay with me, why would they do that, and how long do they stay? The answer to why do they do that is complicated. Do they stay? Let's find out. Bearing in mind this investigation was probably 2.5 years ago or more. Harry Obviously been with me since we did the investigation at Ashley's. You are one of the spirits that decided to reside with me. Very basic question, Harry, for our viewers here in real time. Are you happy? Okay, so what we're going to do with this now is plug it up to the Bluetooth speaker and see if Harry actually responded. Thank you, Harry. Apparently happy is something that Harry is. As Harry says here, I'm very happy. So that's a little speaker. Let's just and would you also be happy to confirm your name for us? Thank you. I guess for now, guys, that's it on this episode of the Supernatural Files. I will just very briefly add that we were due to go back for me to dig a little bit deeper and hoping the conditions would be a little bit better. But before that, Ashley actually relocated, which is not uncommon also. So, for right now, I'm Don Phillips, this is the Supernatural Files. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to support this channel and my work, which is very, very important. And I'll see you soon.